Last year, U.S. Attorney Brown said FIN7 as an entity is no more. This year, there have been several reports about the resurgence of FIN7 and how they're using different tools, evading AV. I think they're actually, as an entity, are still here. So let's talk about detections. All right, today we are talking about FIN7 and a recent report that came out from Sentinel Labs. So in July, they had released this report talking about the FIN7 reboot, and it gets into some interesting information. A few things are FIN7 adopting new strategies to mask its identity. So basically on different forms and things, they're using different names and pseudonyms and whatnot. And then also developing and selling new specialized tool like AV neutralizer to avoid or disable AV on a system, and also using some automation around different attacks. It's also been observed that they are starting to target more industries, including hospitality, energy, high-tech, retail, and of course finance. And they're shifting their focus, or they've been seen shifting focus from POS malware to more ransomware-focused operations. So what we want to cover in today's video, like always, is the detections and how can we actually pick up on FIN7 operating on a system. The main focus is going to be on the tools listed in this report. Specifically, we're going to go over some sessions and detections for Powertrash, some of the automated persistence they had with batch file, and AuKill, which is like AV neutralizer. So the first one we're going to talk about here is Powertrash. This is a tool that pretty obfuscated PowerShell script that they use to reflectively load payloads onto a system. So for example, in this instance, it's loading dice loader. We ran this to get some information, and most of the detections here we're picking up on the obfuscation through, script block logging and whatnot. But the one I'll highlight is the potential process injection via PowerShell, where this is specifically, again, looking for some of the script block logging and looking for some of these key terms or words that are going to be in there that are referencing known patterns. So you can see down in the log for this detection that this is obviously obfuscated, right? It's just nonsense, right? But there are certain things that you can actually see in here. And so, for example, get delegate for function pointer, this is an indicator that this is likely some sort of injection via PowerShell. So like I said, there's a list of them that you can see that if you see something like that in a script block, there's a chance that it's going to be suspicious. Obviously, there's times when these could be, you're going to hit some false positives here, but I think there's a good chance that you're going to come across some suspicious activity if you're looking for those strings. The next one, so in the report, it actually had a screenshot of a batch script that was being used. So we took that and created a batch script on one of our lab machines and executed it. Essentially, it's running it's creating three scheduled tasks, one of which is doing the reverse SSH tunnel, one is running the SSH daemon, and the last one is creating a dynamic port forward on the local machine. If we look here, there's quite a few different detections that come up, most of them around some sort of suspicious activity from a scheduled task. But specifically, we'll dive into this one, which is scheduled task created to launch SSH's system. So let's go down to the detection. We can see the command line contains create, NT authority, system, and then the SSH executable. So that's kind of showing us that this image SCH tasks was executed using any of these different flags or items in that command line, which would lead to the activity we just talked about. So you can see the log here, right? It's showing that there was the command to actually create the scheduled task, and there were those different strings we were looking for in that command. There's other ways to detect if you're logging like scheduled task logs. You could obviously use some of that stuff for it, but in this specific detection we're covering, it's just looking for that initial creation via command line, right? If someone were to run a batch script that had these commands, you know, this is something you would come across. So just one option. Obviously there's other ways to detect this activity. And this detection will detect, I think, all three, maybe just two of those scheduled tasks happen in the batch files. So a pretty good one to be a little bit more all-encompassing there. The last tool we'll discuss here is AuKill. And AuKill in the report, they're talking about AV neutralizer. And AuKill and AV neutralizer are similar or the same. And so this, we have a capture here of it killing an AV product, and we have some detection shown up here. I will say we didn't use the sample from the report, so there's a chance that the one in the report is slightly different in the method it uses. So that's something that if we can get a sample working, we'll probably get a session going for that. But for the one we currently have, AuKill, which is similar, we have several detections here. One, AuKill indicators in the registry. So if we look at this, we can see there's specific target objects you can look for here, strings in the target object. So one is that A Sophos X, AU Sophos, right? They have some standard naming schemes being used across this AV killing tool. So if you look at the log, you can see that target object has that first part, the target object has system current control set services, and then that second part of AU Sophos image path. So this will detect several of the different patterns expected in registry events. The next one we're looking at here is AuKill service creation. So for this one, it's looking again for some of those naming patterns that are used, like AU Sophos, A Sophos X, and so forth. And it's looking for those services actually being created. So if we look at the log down here, we can see the service account local system, and that service AU Sophos exe is the service file name in this creation event with a success. So this will detect at least the Sophos ones. As more get added, the namings will need to be updated with more AVs or more names that are common. But for now, we know that this one will work against this specific variant we have logs on. So going forward, there's always more detections and more threats to make. Now, these weren't the only tools listed, right? They talked about, let's see here, they had Powertrash, Dice Loader, which we didn't really cover, the SSH backdoor, which that one is the install.bat that we covered. Core Impact we didn't cover because we couldn't get a license. We were trying to get a trial license to do some stuff with that, but we weren't able to get a license yet, so still working on that. And then AV Neutralizer, that AuKill, we covered that part. So most of it was covered here. The one Dice Loader, the other one we did not cover. We did create a session for Dice Loader using Reflective Loader to load it. When we ran the Powertrash, I assumed Dice Loader might be loaded with the sample we used. I didn't see any indication of C2 activity. And then when I tried to load, I loaded Dice Loader using Reflective Loader. Same, there was indicators of reflective loading, but nothing specific to Dice Loader establishing C2 or doing anything. So I kind of left that one out because there wasn't anything interesting to show. But if something does come up, obviously we will update this, add more content, and let you know about it. As always, we really appreciate you watching our videos. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. If you have any suggestions for other videos or topics, please let us know in the comments. And feel free to sign up for a community account on our app. We have lots of content and interesting stuff that's free for community users. So definitely sign up and check it out. Thanks.